Well, greetings to all. This is a presentation I prepared for a health food store in Springfield, Missouri, but I thought we could enjoy it together as well. So it talks about food, nutrition, energy, and anxiety, and the connection between food and mood. Let's watch it. So on our agenda today, we're going to talk about food, how important is food in our life. We're going to talk about energy. Everything is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. Then we're going to talk about anxiety, how we go from food to mood. Maybe you'll listen to the metaphor and make changes in your lives. So how important is food? It is said that 20% of deaths are due to food globally. That's 1% out of 5 having a problem with food. What kind of food? Well, we have toxic food, we have junk food, processed food, and harmful food ingredients. And there is virtually nothing that is enforced for regulation. And we know that companies like to cut corners. So how many pesticide, insecticide, heavy metals they put into food, coloring, flavoring, we don't know. We don't know the side effects, but this is not natural. And you'll hear why. Yes, you will hear with your ears why that is so. So 60 to 75 years ago, people were malnourished because they didn't have enough food. They lacked food, which is something happening in other parts of the world. But now we lack nutrients, and also we have the wrong nutrients in our food, not nutrients, but adjuvants. And this 1 in 5 death does not account for needless pain and suffering, for lack of vitality, for poor quality of life, and even strained relationships. So you probably heard about the dietary food group, right? Well, they keep changing. A long time ago, some 40 years ago, we had the 4 food group that you had to balance: meat, dairy, grains, and vegetables and fruits. Well, that didn't work too well for our health, so it changed into a pyramid. That pyramid didn't work either, so we did a vertical pyramid. And then we did all kind of different things. How much of each should you put in your plate? Yet nothing really worked. If you look at the statistic, people are still pretty sick in this country. I have a different approach. My approach is about energy, because everything is energy vibrating at a certain or different frequencies. I learned that when I was 20 years old during a workshop in Paris with Milan Rizzo. One of the exercises we did was somebody would give us a key, and we had to focus on that key in our hand. That key had a certain energy, a certain frequency, and we had to tell whether the key came from. If it was a car, describe the car. If it was a home, describe a home. And it was amazing how accurate the results were. But we're not here to talk about keys. We're here to talk about food. You can go to Google or another search engine and put on food and Kirlian. It shows you some beautiful pictures of the energy of different things. It's taken with different cameras. This is a P taken with a regular camera, and this is a P showing the energy around that P taken with a Kirlian camera. So let's look at certain things. Should you eat commercial or organic? Well, this is a commercial mushroom, and this is the energy of an organic mushroom. Let's look at a kiwi, a commercial kiwi, an organic kiwi. Let's look at vitamins. So we have synthetic vitamins. It's just chemicals put together, or natural whole food vitamin. Which one has more energy? Now, cooked or raw? This is a cooked cabbage and the energy of a raw cabbage. Now, raw food is not for everybody. Some conditions require more cooked vegetables. So cooked or raw, how about a tomato? The energy of a cooked tomato versus the energy of a raw tomato. Cooked or raw, this is a sprout that is cooked, and this is a raw sprout. How about mingling? I found this interesting. This is an apple cut in half, and somebody took a bite out of it. Can you see the energy mingling in that bitten apple? How about when you mingle with people? Our energies get commingled with the people we are around. And now the question, who has more energy? On the left, you have somebody eating junk food, and on the right, you have somebody eating healthy food. Who has more energy? Does that make you change your choice? Now I talked about anxiety. Of course, food is not a cure-all for anxiety, but it has a role to play. And I could feel the energy of some food, but I could not describe it to people until I listened to Mike Adams, or the Health Ranger, when he did a presentation several years ago where he had us listen to the sounds of food. He changed the table of elements into sounds. So let's have a listen. It's just a 5-minute short summary I did from his presentation, which is about 35 minutes with many more elements, many more nutriments. So you can watch it if you Google or another search engine, Mike Adams, LMonics, you're going to find his full presentation, and I highly encourage you to watch it. But here, let's look at it.
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Mike Adams, the Health Ranger. Today I'm going to play chemistry as music. I've translated the table of elements into tones in the audible range. I've put hydrogen at a frequency of 3,520 hertz, which is the high A7 key on the keyboard. And then using the inverse mass proportions, carbon 12 versus hydrogen 1 and so on, I've mapped every other element to the keyboard. We're going to make one arbitrary decision for this demonstration, and that is to map hydrogen to 3,520 hertz, putting it at the high range of the audible 88 key keyboard. From there, mathematics and the table of elements determines every other note that you're going to hear. And if you were to put that into a pattern, it might sound like this. Let's add carbon to the mix. You're listening to carbon 12. Carbon 12 with a frequency of 293. So you're hearing carbon 12 at a D key on the keyboard. Now, what you are actually hearing is organic chemistry, organic carbon molecules, in other words, carbon chains. This is the basis of life as we know it in our universe, carbon-based life. Sounds like this. It has a beat, it has a rhythm. Let's bring in O2. This is oxygen. Oxygen 16. This is the sound of the molecule of life set against the background of organic carbon molecules. So right now, what you're hearing is a small symphony of hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. This is what your body is experiencing every time you inhale. HHO, HHO. That's H2O. Now, if you were to hear that by itself, here's what it would sound like. That's H2O by itself. It's hydrogen and oxygen, and you'll notice that hydrogen and oxygen are harmonics of each other. Let's bring in hydrogen and carbon. And since this water molecule sounds like a heartbeat, let's put a little heartbeat to it, a little bit of percussion. This is mimicking the heartbeat that we hear as we're being developed inside the womb of our mothers being. Let's listen to something else. another molecule of life. It's a hormone. It's a signaling hormone called progesterone. Progesterone is necessary to grow a child inside the womb of its mother. And if you listen to progesterone, it has a childlike sound. It sounds like little feet running around, and that this molecule is the exact same mass, the exact same number of elements as cannabidiol, one of the most powerful healing nutrients that's ever been gifted to mankind, found in cannabis. Here's magnesium. Now, magnesium is harmonically in tune with oxygen. So let's hear that. That's magnesium oxide. Magnesium, oxygen. Let's bring in carbon. Magnesium, oxygen, carbon. Magnesium, oxygen, carbon. It's all in tune. If we're playing it all together, lithium-6 is harmonically in tune with all of the other elements of life and the other molecules of the water, the oxygen, the carbon dioxide. Now, let's hear calcium and magnesium. Hear the harmonics there? Calcium, magnesium. This is the music. This is the symphony of nutrition. This is chemistry. Straight up chemistry that you're now hearing because we've translated it into the audible range so you can experience. And it sounds like life. And let's listen to some molecules that were not created by Mother Nature or that were not intended by Mother Nature to be consumed by humans. Let's give a listen to glyphosate, also known as Roundup, a toxic cancer-causing herbicide that's used in genetically engineered agriculture. This is, hydrogen, carbon, water, the heartbeat. Now here comes glyphosate. This is the sequence of the glyphosate molecule. Here it is by itself. It sounds out of tune. It's not something that you really want in your life, and it's not something you really want in your food. So let's get rid of it. And now if you're playing that music that is harmonious with life, and then you bring in lead, here's what that sounds like. Not exactly harmony, is it? So mercury sounds exactly the same. And I'll play you a few other heavy metals. That's mercury. And then here's cadmium. Now, it's out of tune, right? It sounds ominous. It sounds foreboding. It sounds perhaps destructive. That's cadmium. Now, for those of you who are sensitive, I want to warn you in advance to protect your ears, protect your body, protect your harmony, really, from what you're about to hear. This is fluorine. It's a very toxic element, and it rips other molecules apart, and it causes cancer. That's fluorine. Now, they often drip sodium fluoride into the water supply, which causes mental retardation, causes cancers and bone disorders. What does sodium fluoride sound like? Well, sodium at 23 sounds like this. So if you combine the two into sodium fluoride, here's what you get. And chlorine is here at chlorine 35. Which is also not harmonious with these other molecules that we want.
So what do you think? The energy of some of the foods we eat are pretty disruptive to our harmony, doesn't it? So that's how some food can cause problems with our mood. It is not natural. We are not meant to be eating these products that are constantly disrupting our harmony, and really, yes, we don't hear it, but our cells do. Of course, nutrition is important, but as a holistic naturopath, we need to take care of many aspects of our health to live in vibrant health. So here we talked about nutrition, but the body also needs movement. We need good night's sleep, rest, relaxation. We need to be out in nature. Many people believe that we are nature deprived and our bodies suffer from that. We need sunshine. The sun is not our enemy. And we need socialization. We are social beings. We need to be with each other. Key number 2 is about emotional freedom, mastering our emotions so we don't fly in a rage. Now, mental fitness, we can train ourselves to not be so stressed. I was talking about flying in a rage. There are techniques that will help us to keep our rage, our anger, our jealousy, our stress down. And my belief is that these 3 keys are important for everybody. Now, the 4th key, we go a little deeper. We talk about the potential of healing using our mind, our unconscious, our subconscious. I'll give you an example. Smoking, for instance, most people realize smoking is not good for them. Physicians, the medical establishment, consider that smoking is an addiction. Hypnotists consider it a habit. And shamans consider it a story. As we change our story, as we change our habits, we change our behavior. It doesn't have to be smoking. We can have different habits that are detrimental to our health. We can change our habits. We can change our story, even with some potentially incurable disease. We have seen that if people change their stories, they can potentially heal from that. My 5th key is about love, which is a frequency, life and miracles. It's going beyond what we understand into a kind of parapsychology, which I started to study when I was in my teens. Those things that we don't comprehend yet. It's about frequencies. It's about moving with a quantum field. It's a very interesting field. But this presentation was about food and nutrition. So choose wisely. It is your choice what you put in your body. Study about it. Not everybody needs the same type of food. Some people need fruits, some people need meat, some people need rice. And for some people, these food that are considered healthy may not be healthy for them. We all have differences in the way that we digest food. So it's up to you. Which direction are you going to go? So you can contact me, thechampionmind.com. And if you add /calendar, you can set up an appointment with me, ask me a question, give me some comments, or hha-usa.com was my former website. That was more the educational part of my website. And again, /calendar to set up an appointment. If you want to contact me by email, it's dynamicdr1@gmail.com. If you set up an appointment, which is complimentary and confidential, I'll also give you my ebook about nutrition, what food everybody should actually focus on. It has wise choices and poor choices. Yes, we can go into specialty for blood type, for metabolic type, but this is the basic Food 101 as an ebook. I'll send it to you if you contact me. So in the meantime, live with passion, purpose, and delight. Hope to see you soon.